up, guys? How we doing? Good.
What do you think about the rookie class, getting them out there on the grass?
Yeah, it's been good to get out here. I mean, really just having them in the building. It's a new couple days for everybody, right? Just where they go, where's this meeting room, where is this located? I mean, that all starts to creep in. It's like being a freshman in high school all over again for a lot of these guys. And but the energy's been good. You know, the guys, I heard we're doing walkthroughs at the hotel the night before, and you know, hopefully some of the leadership out of these guys will continue to rise, but the energy was good for the last 2 days.
I know it's early, but is Travis Hunter as advertised?
You know, I would assume, you know, just watching, ran a route yesterday where his shoe came off and didn't quite affect him, made a great catch, and it's more just his presence, right, and the energy that he does provide, you know, both in the classroom, in the meeting rooms, and also out here on the field. So really hard to tell in this kind of setting, though.
We've seen him we saw him get some extra work after practice or like during practice. Just how important is that going to be? Just working with Edgar and all of that.
Yeah, building camaraderie between the two of those guys is going to be really important. The amount of time that they're obviously being able to spend during this time has been really beneficial. And at the end of the day, it's about relationships. So for him to be able to get relationships with all the coaches, right? But specifically the extra time, and he's the type of guy that puts it in on his own when he is away from the building. And so the more he can do and continue to do that will only benefit us moving forward.
As a follow-up, you mentioned energy a couple of times. Just how about this? How many people are here for Rookie Minicamp?
I know, this is awesome. I thank the fans and everybody for putting this on within the organization. I think it's great to have the fan base out here. You could definitely feel the players. Yesterday there was a little bit of nerves, right? It's their first day out on the grass with new coaches, and so the sense of urgency's up. And when the guys are there, you start to see some mistakes and miscommunications happen. Today, a lot cleaner. You could feel the energy from the fans, and they were obviously gassed up to have the people around.
Hey, Coach, you're a quarterback coach's kid, head against a quarterback coach's kid.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of a bond there that you sense, or?
Yeah, not quite yet. I mean, we'll get there, right? I mean, still getting to know him. Just met him. I'll be honest, hadn't watched a ton of his tape before we ended up bringing him in, and then once we did, I got to talk to him. John Gruden actually hit me up about him, shot me a text. I think they spent some time together during the off season, and so you can definitely see the coach's kid mentality. He did a great job of calling the plays, having command. I mean, we weren't just out there calling one play. I mean, we were canning plays, 2-play calls. He was handling all that stuff well. So time will tell, but definitely a good guy to start off with.
I know we talked about Travis starting on offense, and that's obviously what he's done for 2 days. When does he start getting reps on defense?
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, he'll be able to get integrated next week on the defensive side of the ball. We just kind of ended up making a decision that from yesterday to today, we wanted to be able to clean up some of the things that we may have been able to miss yesterday, get extra reps on the offensive side of the ball, and next week he'll start to roll on defense.
Does he already have sort of a feel for the defensive stuff?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's gotten
That's right.
dove into the playbook already.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been able to dive in and learn some of our 3-deep coverages. What do we call our 3-deep coverages on the outside? If he has to be manned up on the backside of a 3-by-1, he knows all those calls already. So at the end of the day, it's going to be about on the defensive side of the ball, communication, right? The technique and fundamentals we will continue to harp on, but it's really about being on the same page as the rest of the guys in the back end from a communication standpoint, and the rest will kind of take care of itself.
Is that the most important thing for him, and mainly for all the rookies too, just to kind of dive into that playbook and get ahead?
Yeah, as much as they can do. It's like for every position, how much can they handle, right? How much can they do? How many different positions can you actually end up playing and learning? And for Travis specifically, he's obviously having to learn both sides of the ball while, he's a football smart guy, man. He is. He's a smart dude. The game makes sense to him. And so now it's just about putting in that time, that extra time that he's going to have to do in order to be successful, to play even one side of the ball at this level. And so he knows what's cut out for him coming up.
You guys didn't spend a ton of time with him before draft. Are you learning about his giant, over-the-top personality, or did that show up in some regards leading into the draft?
No, you know, when he got here after the draft, you know, we got to hang out with him for a little bit there, and you felt it right away, right? You did. You felt that infectious smile that he has, that he provides and brings into the building. Very serious about football, very serious about his process in order to put himself in a position to ultimately just be in a physical shape to be able to do this and to run forever and to have the stamina and strength to be able to do this at a high level. But you see him out there dancing and having fun, and that's really cool to see. You know, we want to see some more of that, and when he goes out there and he's doing his thing, he is serious about this process.
Liam, more of a housekeeping note. Didn't see Danny Strigow out there. Update on.
Yeah, I think he went for a wedding. I think he had a wedding to go to. So he was here yesterday. He was here, and he had to go take off for a family wedding. Yeah.
Second day of obviously rookie minicamp, other than Travis, of course. But what are the other rookies that have really impressed you?
I think Jack Kaiser first and foremost on the defensive side of the ball. Just from a diligent standpoint, you could tell he's already has some of those leadership qualities that you look for. He's in really good physical shape coming into camp here this weekend. I think Caleb Ransaw as well stood out on the defensive secondary. Wyatt Milam did a nice job in the drills over the course of the last 2 days, and you know, really all these guys did a great job. You know, we'll be able to go watch the tape from today. A lot of mistakes and things that did happen to occur yesterday, but that's part of it. But overall, really appreciate their energy and enthusiasm.
With the phases that you've already had with the veterans and this group right here, how important is it to set the tone for you as the coach and what you're trying to get across? And is this a big time in terms of those meetings and messages?
Yeah, I think over the course of the last few weeks with the vets, we've been able to kind of install not only the playbooks, the schemes, the fundamentals, and the techniques, but also our culture. And our modes of operation, the way that we want to communicate, the way that we end up wanting to play the game. And so we've now been able to have those same meetings with the rookies over the last 2 days. And so the goal is to be able to continue to catch them up on some of those, you know, just the way we want to act, the way we want to talk, the way we want to communicate if maybe something comes up, and how these things end up carrying out onto the grass. That's really been the main focus with the team meetings with the rookies. That was also the emphasis with the vets before we ended up breaking here for this weekend. So once we get back into Monday, these guys will be integrated and be rolling, and we'll have a lot more players in that meeting room.
A couple more, Liam. Will you guys be doing joint practices?
I hope so. We'll see. It all kind of depends on the schedule and the league and all that. We haven't been able to get that information quite yet. We'll continue to utilize any asset we can to be able to make that work, but we've had some communication.
Schedule comes out Wednesday. You guys have a lot of West Coast trips.
Yeah.
Did you request to the league to do anything back-to-back, or do you want to avoid that?
Nah, you know, I kind of haven't really requested much. I'll let Tony Baselli handle that stuff, but no, it's more so just, hey, let's remain fluid, right? We have to understand that, yes, we can ask for some things, but ultimately it's the league's decision, and we got to have the mindset to go play anybody, anytime, any place.
Not every rookie minicamp you'll see 11 on 11 team periods. Why was it important for you guys to make sure you get to see that?
Yeah, just more, you know, we called that an alignment assignment period where, you know, we've installed plays, right, on both sides of the ball, concepts, formations, motions, shifts, defensively, you know, calls, right, adjustments to these formations and motions and shifts. And so it was just a good op to kind of get out there, get the huddle, or, I mean, it's wild when you poll these guys on how many have been in the huddle recently and how many have heard a verbal cadence recently. It's very minimal. So we are actually teaching, this is the huddle, this is where you line up in the huddle, this is how we break the huddle, and this is a verbal cadence. And so that is like starting at, you know, ground zero in a lot of ways. So didn't really feel like it was fully necessary to come and do true competitive 11 on 11, but at the end of the day, I think we got something out of it.
All right, Liam. Thank you.
All good? Thanks, guys.
Congrats on graduation. Walk us through that experience, then flying right on back for practice.
I mean, it was a blessing to be the first person in my family to walk across the stage, but I was just thinking about getting back to work and coming back and playing football.
You're a Jags pajama pants? Why was that?
That's the first thing I ordered off Amazon when I got drafted. So.
That night? You feel it that night?
How have these past 2 days been for you, just being able to be on the field?
It's been a blessing, to come out here with the guys, with the rookies, and just come out here and work every day, try to get better.
Does it feel real yet? You're in the NFL?
I definitely feel real. Come out here for this season. It's hot. What I learned from being a little kid out here playing, so yeah, I love it.
Liam says next week you'll start getting integrated more into the defense. When I say that, what does that make you? How does that get the juices flowing, or is it just another day at the office?
I've been already getting integrated to the defense. I've been doing offense and defense. The past 2 days, I just came out here and did offense.
The fans being out here in such a wave, what was that experience like just practicing?
It's been a blessing, to have the fans come out here and check us out, check out the whole team and the rookies. So it's been a blessing.
Has it been different? Has it been different for you at all to have to learn 2 playbooks? I know you probably did it in the past, but just at the NFL level, has it been different so far?
Not so much different. You just got to get used to it. It's just a lot of different type of calls, but other than that, the defense is pretty easy. Just got to get used to the offense.
What about the offense? What makes that a challenge a little bit?
Just longer calls and concepts are different. So you just got to
What's your relationship been?
I saw there were a few times over there where if you didn't get it right how you wanted it, you would go right back to the front of the line. Just why was it so important for you to get that kind of down?
Because organization expected a lot out of me. Expect me to come out here and play right away. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me to get out there and play right away.
When do you meet?
I know you're used to pacing yourself conditioning-wise, but do you have to pace yourself a little bit because of exactly what you just said? There's high expectation to do too much too soon. Are you ready for that, or can you pace that out through the next few months until the start of the season?
No, I'm definitely ready, but we're going to take our time with it, and we're just going to get better each day.
When did you meet Edgar Bennett, and walk us through that relationship?
When I met him, when I came here, it was like we hit it off right away. He's been in Green Bay. He taught Devontae Adams, so just seeing him coach a player like that is just, I know I can learn a lot from him.
Anything stand out to you about Ransaw? I know it's early, but anything in terms of personality or player?
I don't know what to tell you about that one.
How about some of the other wide receivers that are here? Did you know any of them before you got into the room with them?
Yeah, I know a couple of them, but we was gonna go in there as a group and just try our hardest, be on the team and fight for each other and go out there and play.
Nice to have a couple teammates here, former Colorado.
Yeah, it's very nice seeing my boys out here, coming out here and balling.
Did you have anything to do? Did you push for them, or it was a surprise?
No, it was a surprise to me. They did what they had to do to get to this level, so I'm excited for them.
Travis, when you take on a leadership role of sorts, even around the rookies, do you embrace that kind of thing?
Yes, I definitely embrace being a leader in the room. I try to do everything right so they can follow behind me and do the same as me.
You're out here dancing, doing your thing. Is it important for you to be authentic, to be who you are, regardless of being a rookie or whatever?
Yes, it's definitely a blessing to be able to do that. I got to be authentic. Got to bring the energy up out here. Make sure everyone is having fun. With a smile on their face and doing what we love.
Why is that important? Why is that important from a team standpoint?
It just helps all of us bond in a different way. So it's definitely super important.
Silly question, but when you start doing offense, defense, and in practice, is somebody just handing you a white jersey and a teal jersey, or how's this work?
I don't know yet. They probably just changed my color, and I've been a different color than everybody.
Yeah. Has there been anything about, since you got drafted, about the onboarding process or just being here, anything been surprising to you or something that you weren't expecting at all?
No, nothing's been surprising. I just go and be where my feet are, so I'm just excited to be here.
Have you gotten to work with Trevor Lawrence at all yet, Travis?
No, my boat is not here yet. It will get here in like 5 days.
Have you had any interactions with Trevor Lawrence, and what's that been like?
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone. That's just private, what we talked about and our conversations. But yeah, I talked to him.
Is there anyone that you're looking forward to seeing when you all get together?
I'm looking forward to seeing all the vets. I'm ready to take knowledge from them and go out there and just build a bond and get started.
It's tough to keep the weight on out here, and it's only going to get hotter. Ideally for you, what would you like to play at this year?
Whatever coach told me to play at.
Has he told you yet?
Nah, he just let me go. He just let me go out here and just play and just have fun.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Travis.
All right, thank you.